Hi guys, welcome to the Box podcast. This is your host Rishi Godhani, and today we have Sirish, Tanish, and Sumeet with us. Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, such a boring end to an amazing season. So, guys, what do you have to tell about the qualifying first? Let's start from qualifying.
Okay, so as much as the race was boring, the qualifying was quite the opposite. We had two engine failures for Magnussen and Perez, so they had to start from the back of the grid. Then Q3 was the most interesting part of the qualifying, as Hamilton set a very good lap, which looked he was going to definitely have the pole, but then Bottas snatched it. And then just seconds after Verstappen snatches it from him to go on to pole, which I think helped him greatly in the race. He finished as he led all the laps of the race.
Yeah, that was actually surprising to Max being P1.
He just pulled that rabbit out of the hat out of
Yeah,
nowhere.
and also Landon Norris did an amazing job. Landon Norris.
Yeah, Norris also started fourth.
Fourth.
Albon fifth, not bad. The McLaren also did a very good job, fourth and sixth.
Yeah, McLaren's were doing pretty good in the end of the season
Hmm.
and the start. Tanish, what do you have to say about the qualifying? What's the best part about it, according to you?
Hey guys, so the qualifying was pretty interesting. I mean, if you see the first three races, they're having a difference of less than 1 second, where we can see Verstappen is 0.246 and Bottas is 21271 and Hamilton is 332. So that is like so close. And I thought Hamilton will clinch the pole this time. I mean, it was a great fight of him recovering from COVID and coming back to gain a pole position, but then Max Verstappen just got it right in few of the sectors and got the pole. So it was interesting and pretty unexpected from a Red Bull car.
I also think in FP2 Hamilton had a gearbox failure or engine issue. He stopped in the pit wall in the pit itself. I'm not sure, but I think that's the reason they had engine issues in the end of the season. So I think that's why they didn't get P1 or win the last race. Yeah, even Sergio Perez.
Yeah, we could see Mercedes engine fallen off because Perez, Racing Point's engine failed, Williams' engine failed. They all had to get new engines set up.
Yeah. So I think in the end they're not that reliable.
Yeah, for this year, the Honda engines have been proved the most reliable, as every other engine manufacturer has faced a penalty and started from the back of the grid, except the Honda cars.
Yeah. No, I think Alex Albon actually did start in the back once. But I think that was they had to change something.
Yeah, that was not an engine failure,
Yeah.
another kind of penalty.
But still Honda has the most DNFs this year.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty unlucky. Five DNFs. I mean, I don't think you can blame all of them on the engine. One was a tire failure. There were a few engine power loss, but yeah,
Max Verstappen alone has five, not and I think
pretty sad for Verstappen as he has DNF'd in all three Italian GPs.
yeah, the first race itself, Austria.
He could have in Imola because he was looking for a solid P2 and his hard tire just burst out of nowhere.
Yeah, I really wish he had a Italian Grand Prix podium.
Yeah, the carbon fiber really shatters into very small pieces.
I'm not sure. Apparently, it was Sergio Perez or Lance Stroll's front wing particles that were left on the track.
Yeah, it was pretty boring.
Yeah, so you can't blame the engine once again for that. So, Sirish, what do you have to say about the qualifying?
To be very honest, I actually thought Hamilton would finish on pole, considering that he was back and he's been in such brilliant form for the for the season. But seeing Verstappen actually do so well made me really happy. For once, it was not the usual Mercedes taking pole every time. But yeah, the fact that Perez did not. I mean, obviously he couldn't make it through to Q2. I was really upset about that, especially after him winning the race last week.
I'm not sure why he didn't get through. Like, I think he had engine issue or something, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
No, they had changed his engine, so he was guaranteed to start from the back of the grid, like no matter how far you go through. So
Exactly.
yeah, so the only person who he had to beat was Magnussen because he had changed an engine, which he did by entering into Q2. So what's the point of going to the track anyway?
So he didn't even want to go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was actually brilliant to watch. McLaren do so well. In the qualifying. Wouldn't have expected them to do that, especially obviously the McLaren split by Albon, but yeah, brilliant qualifying. I really enjoyed that one. In fact, I enjoyed the qualifying more than the race itself.
The qualifying was very interesting.
Exactly.
Yeah, the race is very boring. So yeah, the race would have been actually a great race if Perez didn't DNF. The safety car gave an opportunity for all of them to change the tires, and they didn't have they all stuck to the one pit strategy.
Exactly, and I think Ricardo was it. Ricardo went 40 laps on the hard tire, if I'm not wrong,
Yeah,
and
they had to
it's
change it in the last
pretty.
15.
Yeah, that's pretty insane to see him do that. I was really impressed to go 40 laps on the same set of hard tires. I mean,
I think Ricardo and Vettel had the same strategy. They executed pretty well. They finished the race
yeah.
12th and 13th.
Hmm.
On the other hand, Leclerc not so much. Even he was out, but he was just losing time lap by lap, and they just had their pit strategies all wrong.
Yeah, exactly, and
Yeah, it's Ferrari. Can't expect anything from them this year.
especially when it comes to Vettel, no.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
pit strategies and Ferrari doesn't make sense.
pretty much. And yeah, despite how boring the race was, I feel like there's still a couple of talking points. Obviously, seeing that Stroll definitely could have done much better, considering even he
Yeah,
finished on the
Stroll and
podium.
Ocon also.
Yeah, Stroll and Ocon, considering both of them finished on the podium last week, and to go ahead and finish down there in like 9th and 10th. So I was pretty shocked by that. Apart from that, obviously, Gasly in eighth. I mean, I'm kind of used to seeing Gasly in the top 10 now, something that not a lot of us would have imagined coming into the season. But to see him perform so well, it's really impressive. And obviously, there was the Perez car just completely shut down. What was it? Oil power something? I'm not sure. It showed on
Something
his
an
Pressure
engine
kill,
issue, right?
oil pressure kill.
oil pressure kill, and yeah, that was pretty much the upset of the race for me. After that, I pretty much lost all interest. But to see Leclerc and Vettel finish that far down
30th and
was kind
14th.
of exactly.
Yeah, 30.
That was kind of yeah. That was also shocking. But I feel like given how the season has gone so far, I wouldn't say it was completely out of the blue. Like you expected them to
Also, Albon did a really good race.
Albon was very good throughout the weekend.
Yeah, in the last till the last lap, he was only 1.5 second to Hamilton.
exactly. And I think Hamilton also made it a point that the fact that he's just recovering from COVID, obviously that physicality is not there anymore.
Yeah, that's true, but still,
I feel like it plays a huge role, since considering that for 55 laps you're under constant pressure. It requires you to perform physically as well, and especially like I think we've seen this in other sports as well, not just F1 but almost every other sport. Recovering from COVID has like various physical implications on your body, and that kind of takes you off the edge. It's really hard, but to still see him finish third, I think it was good for me. I had fun watching him finish third. Obviously, you would have expected him to finish first, but regardless, I feel like Verstappen did a very good job to end the race on first, and I feel like this is the perfect way to end his season.
even
You
after
know,
the safety car, they were really good. The Red Bull had really good pace after the
exactly,
safety car. Like they didn't give Mercedes a chance at all even after the pile up.
exactly, and I feel like even at the beginning, Bottas' start again really poor, and he kind of held Hamilton back right behind him. And Verstappen's start was brilliant. There's absolutely no two ways about it. He was just brilliant throughout the race. And I feel like yeah, this is a good way to finish a season in which he hasn't been so lucky. I mean, obviously the DNFs that we wouldn't have expected him to have, but yeah, it's a really strong finish from him, and it's a really strong finish from Mercedes as well. Something
Yeah,
I
only
was
Sergio Perez didn't DNF.
yeah, man, I'm really upset about that. Kind of gutted me.
Yeah, we would have seen a nice race also then.
Yeah, and to see that McLaren overtaking Racing Point at the end of the season, feel like for one thing I'm really upset is, but yeah, I'm really happy that Perez finished fourth in the drivers' standings. So
Yeah, that's a really good thing for him. But
yeah,
still,
exactly.
not sure if he has a seat next year, right?
Yeah, as of now, there's no reports. But yeah, he
Also,
said that if nothing works out next season, he'll be back for the 2022 season. So hopefully then he has a seat.
let's hope he comes back.
Yeah, I would really hope to see him in
Yeah,
F1 next season as
yeah,
well.
apparently he has something really solid planned for 2022.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah, I'm
he
really excited
says.
to see
So
what it
let's
is.
see. Yeah.
So I think Hamilton would stay one more year, max.
Probably,
I think after the eighth championship, he might be like, okay, let me take a break. Let me do something else.
yeah,
Maybe do like a Schumacher 2, 3 year break and maybe come again.
Yeah,
probably.
Who
But that
knows?
is considering the fact that what if that it's a big if, to ask him to win a eighth championship because again next season with all the changes coming in.
seeing the last race itself, it was really challenging for the Mercedes.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like once next season starts and all those regulations coming in, and most of the cars will be balanced. So I don't think he'll have as easy a time as he's had this season. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how he adapts to that. He's a brilliant racer, so I wouldn't put it past him to get an eighth championship. Obviously, he's got the quality, he's got the talent to go ahead and do that. But yeah, next year is not going to be easy.
Yeah, definitely not for Bottas.
Definitely not.
I think they should start looking for options other than Bottas.
They could do. I mean, obviously, if it was between Hamilton and Bottas right now, Mercedes would go for him. But in the long run, if Hamilton decides to, leave, maybe Bottas could come into the, front, in the front, obviously. But that depends on whom they would be signing to replace Hamilton.
Yeah. So I think George Russell is probably the main contender right now for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. George Russell's probably.
He has a 10-year contract with Toto
Russell's
Wolff.
got a very bright future ahead.
I mean, yeah, we could. I mean, we could see George Russell coming in to replace Hamilton if he does decide to retire. I think after the next season. But as of now, I feel
Yeah,
like
that's a big if.
yeah, that's a huge if.
I feel if Hamilton doesn't win next year, then definitely he's gonna extend like 1 or 2 more years because I'm pretty sure he want to go for the eighth championship.
If Mercedes doesn't win next year, I think it's done for Mercedes. Like they will have really tough competition. They won't dominate once again like that. Just like McLaren. They once someone else started
Mhm.
dominating, they didn't have a chance at all. So if next year Mercedes doesn't win the championship, it'll be really hard for them to come back on
Yeah,
top.
Yeah, I don't think they would come back on top as they're planning to leave F1 after 2021. So let's see what happens.
Is Mercedes leaving
Yeah,
F1?
they are planning to leave F1 due to the carbon emission, but it's not confirmed yet. But they are most probably going to leave F1.
Toto Wolff is for sure going to leave after
Toto
2021.
Wolff might be going like we discussed earlier. Toto Wolff might be going to Aston Martin as he's good friends with Lawrence Stroll. But then for the next year, he is with Mercedes. So once Mercedes plan or confirm that they're going to leave F1, then we'll have to see where other players go.
Yeah, but I don't think so. I think the name Mercedes will go. The team will stay with Ineos.
Yeah. The team will stay with. But then when a new management comes in, you never know how it goes with the team members and stuff. So you just can't predict anything that it would continue the same way. What if the management wants all
Yeah.
new drivers or they want to give young drivers a chance? So it differs from management to management.
Also, Mercedes could have like a lot of pressure from building up on next year because Red Bulls obviously look strong and they have young drivers. The likes of Verstappen and Albon or Perez, who you say, both really good drivers.
I mean, most of them are saying that Perez will come next season as I mean, there's this F1 three-time F1 champion Johnny Hebert who says that uh, Red Bull should go for Perez over Albon, and most of them are the rumors are saying that Albon will be the reserve driver as Red Bull want him to improvise and come back stronger. So Red Bull might give Perez a one-year contract for the next season. That's most likely to
But I
happen.
really don't think that would be fair enough for Alex Albon.
Yeah, that's not fair enough for Alex Albon, but they also don't want to leave Perez. I mean, Perez has an opportunity and now he is a free agent, so they can get him. So if at all it doesn't work, I mean, it can be benefit both the ways. So if it doesn't work, they leave him off in 1 year. If it works, they probably think of keeping him for another 2, 3 seasons. So yeah, it's just
Seeing Alex Albon's past performances in the last two races, I think they might think about keeping
yeah,
him.
they can think about keeping him, but then see, if they are keeping Albon as the reserve driver, they're not losing him as well. So they have the liberty to change their driver lineups whenever they want. So yeah, I think they should go for Perez and keep Albon as the reserve so that they have most of the chances benefiting them.
I still think Albon deserves like one
Yeah,
more year at
that.
least.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, he
like at least
okay.
I think they're rushing with Yuki Tsunoda. He's a
I mean,
rookie
again,
this year.
AlphaTauri sister team, you can experiment down there.
I mean, but then I feel Daniel should have got a
Since
chance.
Yeah, but then because of that, Alex Albon doesn't have a chance at all. This is Alex's second year only, right?
yeah, it's like 1.5 because he came in halfway when Pierre Gasly was dumped by Red Bull. I don't think they want to
Yeah,
be that critical to Albon again.
yeah. So I think they should give an equal chance, like they gave to Gasly too. They gave him AlphaTauri seat.
Red Bull's this thing, chief director Marco Helmut says that they're going to look at the data of all around the season, like how Perez and Albon have performed, and then they're going to decide who to give the seat. Probably
If
the.
that is the thing, Sergio Perez is gonna get it.
I mean, Albon's not been very bad as well. He's had 2 podiums. He's had like quite a few fourth and fifth place finishes.
He's
Yeah,
performed
there
well
are
in
few
Yes,
India and
races.
Abu Dhabi as well.
but Perez only has
And
2 podiums, one win and one
Perez has
second
those
Yeah,
place, I
Perez
think.
has
Yeah,
more
he's had
DNF
quite a
as
few
well.
fourth and fifth place finishes, but I feel like yeah.
Yeah, and he's for how many
yeah,
years? He's for a lot
but
of
then
years in this
but,
racing.
10 years.
but then 2013
He was
McLaren
with
was
Force
his
India
like only
also.
chance with a big team. After that, he's only, if you see his records, he's only been driving for smaller, I mean, lesser comparative teams like Force India and stuff. So people are saying that if he gets Red Bull, this will be his another shot at a big team. So we cannot just complain about Perez that he hasn't won podiums. Well, we have to see the teams which he drove for as well. He drove for mid-range and lower-end teams, so he did the best of what he could. So when you compare with McLaren and Racing Point, were the only two good teams that he has driven for, and with that good of a car, he has got few podiums. So I mean, he has some convincing points to get the seat as well. So let's see how it goes.
Yeah. But I really think they should really consider that Alex Albon option there. He's after all a junior.
Yeah, he's pretty young. Give him another year. If he doesn't perform, just bring in Perez.
But
Perez
Perez
is going to
doesn't
be
want to race in
31.
any
He
other
can
team
race
other
for another
than
2, 3 years.
the ones who are giving him podium competition. So I think that he has only three options right now, like
Yeah.
thinking about next year. That'd be Red Bull, Mercedes, and McLaren. Considering McLaren gets the Mercedes engines and everything works out fine for them.
I don't think McLaren are going to go for Mercedes engines. They have a good contract there, I know.
I think McLaren is going stronger next year because since they have finished in the top place, the number three contenders in podium in the constructors championship. Yeah, they got new investors who are investing 246 million, and from what the director said that they are going to give them a 15% stake, and by the end of 2022 they will be giving them 33% stake. So with his words, considering I think McLaren will not choose Mercedes, they will go on their own. I mean, if you see the statistics as well, they have finished pretty good. Third in the constructors championship is like pretty good. So I think next year they can try for higher positions. So I don't think they will go with Mercedes.
I think they confirmed it, and they got new investors also.
Okay,
I
maybe I
think McLaren
but
confirmed Mercedes
yeah, there's
engines.
no
I think I saw official telling that. I saw a tweet telling the next year's engines and everything.
yeah, and also with the team name changing to Alpine next year.
There's no runoff for sure. Yeah. Also, McLaren has never created their own engines as such, right? They've always used Mercedes or Renault. So McLaren is better performing than Renault, even though having their engine. That's surprising, right?
Also, one thing we can't ignore about McLaren is Daniel Ricciardo.
Never.
Ricciardo's an insanely fast driver with very good sense of racing. Yeah, overtakes on another level. And with paired up with Lando Norris, Norris only gets better by the years because he's pretty young. Though that duo is going to be really good on the track and off the track as well, at least for the fans.
Yeah, McLaren has to come up with some nice content for next year. More content for next year.
I mean, they quite regularly post a lot of videos and challenges. So it's going to be interesting.
So really hope McLaren does something nice with their social media strategies. Yeah. Red Bull is the least active, I think.
Yeah, they just do like hot laps before races and maybe a few interviews on the sofa around here and there.
Yeah, not the Serpa. Yeah, also Nikita Mazepin. He didn't have a test drive of the Haas car in this young driver test.
No, not yet. There was a young drivers test today, and he didn't. There's only Mick Schumacher in the Haas car.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, and the other horse car was empty. There was no one. It was supposed to be Nikita Mazepin.
Yeah, but Gunther Steiner issued a statement saying that they will deal with that issue internally. So until that issue is solved, I don't think they will be letting Mazepin sit in a Haas car and come out in front of the media. Though Mace, though Macepin apologized over social media, I think they still have some of the things to be discussed internally. So once that is done, I think they will be sending him for testing. So until then, I don't think we'll be getting to see him in the Haas.
I think that might be his punishment. You don't get in the car unless you do the PR course.
It was stupid enough to do that. It was even more stupid to put it on social media.
Not a good start to the F1 career.
Yeah, that's definitely not.
Yeah, I think it's the worst PR problem any Formula One team has had till now. Yeah, apparently there's news going around that he broke quarantine laws in Abu Dhabi and he was about to get arrested. I'm not sure how true that is, but that was going around in the news in Twitter.
I mean, could be, but yeah, unless sources confirm that, there's not much to it. It's all hearsay. But I feel like it could be, it could also be made up by media, because seeing as he's behaving right now, it could be a good time to make him a scapegoat
Yeah,
for
everyone
publicity.
hates him right now.
But yeah, his actions are really questionable, especially for someone so young being given such a great opportunity when there are obviously more talented drivers around.
I really wish Kyle
Since
Eilert had the
Mazepin has
chance instead
been
of him.
taken up by Haas, Eilert has been named the reserve driver for Ferrari. That's one good step.
Yeah, it is a
Yeah,
good
but
step, but it doesn't guarantee regular, regular racing time. So
Yeah, and speaking about Ferrari, Matteo
Yeah.
Binotto said that they haven't finished, like they have finished sixth in the constructors championship, like which is the lowest in the last 40 years. And he also said that they are not eyeing for any significant improvement where we can see a huge number of podiums from them. They're just saying that they are going to improve their engine and their power unit, which was the main reason of them falling down this year. But he clearly said that they will not be eyeing for big podiums the next season.
Binotto's pretty sure they have a much improved engine for next year. Let's see what they are capable of.
yeah, but not that.
Yeah,
So I think it will still compete in the bottom five, bottom
yeah, that's true. That's
six.
true. I mean,
Uh,
but then I feel that if Science had the chance to stay in McLaren, it would have been great. As you guys can see, I mean, it's like they're like the underdogs. No one notices them, but then every race they have at least one, or most of the races they have both of their cars finishing in the top 10, and they also came third this year. So probably another season we could have seen them in a better way racing. But then it was Sainz's move. So let's see how he drives the Ferrari next season,
I think it's going to
and
be a
let's
very
see.
hard time for Ferrari because Mercedes is always good. Red Bulls are pretty fast. McLaren are upcoming really well. Aston Martin having Vettel next season, that's something that everybody has to watch out for.
And
Yeah,
having the Mercedes engines. The Formula One Twitter, like Aston Martin and Mercedes had a really nice conversation on Twitter.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
guys see
about
that?
them mocking Red Bull, right?
yeah,
No, about
no wait.
people
Yeah,
mocking Racing Point.
about Racing Point
Your
getting
car is ready for
2021
delivery for
season
next year.
cars.
Yeah, that is mostly true. They did copy the brake ducts from for last year's Mercedes.
brake ducts, front wing, all of it.
Uh, it wouldn't be wrong to say they are like the B team.
Yeah, like sister team, AlphaTauri and Red Bull.
Yeah, yeah,
Also,
because every
AlphaTauri
season,
is no more their junior team. It's now the sister team. That's surprising, right?
uh, yeah, that's
Again, that's only the name. We all know everything's dependent on Red Bull and Marco.
Yeah, it's all Marco only who does the decisions.
What he says is final. There's no going beyond that.
Yeah, I really think they should consider changing that approach of theirs. Also,
I mean, it's been working so
I
far.
mean, he is a pretty intelligent guy who has
Yeah,
a good
exactly. So
knowledge.
yeah, but
if it's not broken, don't fix
Yeah,
it.
I really like he's making all the decisions as like I really think Yuki Tsunoda is really early into this thing for him. For Formula One's really early for him.
But it's all right. Like they can take that risk because Kvyat
Yeah,
has not proved that worthy because he's
true.
very inconsistent. One day he finishes
And
fourth, one day he
having
finishes
said that,
14th.
Yeah, that's true.
having said that, that's like the main reason why they are planning to sign either Perez or Albon, and one of them will be their reserve drivers. It will be mostly Albon. So if at all Yuki Tsunoda doesn't perform well, they can get Albon to drive for the AlphaTauri. If at all he's the reserve driver.
Yeah, so I think Albon, if Albon doesn't get a seat and he's a reserve driver, they might think about replacing Yuki Tsunoda if he doesn't perform.
Yeah, yeah. So they're trying to ensure that they get all the benefits of the
Also,
system.
Charles Leclerc's brother, younger brother, he's in F3 now.
Arthur Leclerc.
So that's also really good for them.
Yeah,
Arthur Leclerc is going to race in F3, yes.
He's also in Ferrari
yeah,
only, Ferrari Junior. Yeah,
Yep, we'll have to watch out
in
for
two,
him
probably
in the
3 years.
coming few years. Imagine two Leclercs in Formula One. Would be so confusing.
yeah. But it depends on how good he is and how the opportunity opens. I mean,
Yeah, let's see. Well, I think Leclerc's a very good driver.
Yeah, he is. He's done great in Formula 4.
but it also, but you also need the proper space for the opportunity. I mean, like if you see this season, Yuki Tsunoda, he got a chance because they had. I mean, there was an opportunity to drive. I mean, sign a new driver, but which doesn't usually happen in Formula One unless a lot of drivers are quitting. And surprisingly, Alfa Romeo, this season they signed Raikkonen. I thought they will leave Raikkonen and go for a young driver, but it's surprising to see that they went with their same old drivers.
I really don't like the idea of Schumacher and Haas. Like they should have given Alfa Romero and
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he deserved a better car, at least a better team. But then, getting into F1 is one big leap. So if at all he performs well, even though he's in a Haas car, there will be a lot of teams who will be eyeing for him. I mean, in the coming few years, I'm pretty sure Alfa Romeo will leave Raikkonen at least after 1 or 2 seasons max. So that time they can sign Mick Schumacher. So yeah, there is a lot of chance. Proven he is really good, and it depends on how he is. I mean, it's not that every racer who comes from F2 to F1 does really good or really bad. So it can go either
Again,
way.
he's in a
So
Haas
let's see
car,
what he has.
so it's going to be a very hard time for him. But if he can finish between 15th to 10th, like most races, like how
Yeah,
Russell has been doing, he's going to
that's
get
true.
picked by good teams.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's not about the thing that he's in a Haskar. I mean, yeah, everyone knows he's in a Haskar, but given the opportunity, if he proves himself, like for instance, the time when Roman Grosjean came P3 or P2, if I'm not wrong, in a Haskar. So when there is an opportunity, if he can capitalize on it and get into higher, greater positions, that's what people will be looking for. Because we all know Haas is not that good of a car when you compare to the rest. So given that condition, they would want to see how well he does.
I really think Haas made a mistake with the rich energy.
Yeah, because Rich Energy pulled out like half a season. Not even half a season.
Yeah,
Just few races in and they pulled out.
4 days
Yeah.
into the season. Like they had the old Lotus car, Lotus engineers, everything, but still managed to not get into the proper points. So it's really sad to see Haas like that, having one of the best engines on the grid.
Yeah, with the budget cap coming in regulation, I think the good times will come for all the teams. It's just that they have to wait and stay in. But what is there to see is that whether they can stay for such a long time. I mean, after we saw how Williams they left and they sold their share to another company because they couldn't sustain in F1. So that's what it's all about. You have to see whether you can stay and whether the wait is worth.
I'm still happy the investors chose to keep the William name yet instead of changing the
Yeah, I
name.
mean it's a good thing for them as well because they wanted to carry the legacy forward, and also it's a good brand and they have a lot of
Yeah.
history and legacy into it. So rather than starting with a new brand and building your legacy, it's good to carry someone's legacy. But what we have to see is whether the car can perform better and bring that legacy forward.
Also, Jack Aitken is not going to be in F2 next year because of budget issues.
I feel really bad for these drivers because there's such limited seats and there's so much talent in the world.
Especially if you see, obviously, Latifi getting the seat for Williams. That's kind of.
Yeah, Latifi is pretty disappointing
He's
this
very disappointing, in
season.
my opinion. I mean, there are racers down in F2 that could probably do better if given the opportunity.
Yeah, it's money power.
Yeah, I guess I feel like the fact that they kept the name Williams, and the legacy and the goodwill that comes along with it, is the fact that that's the part of reason why they were able to
Yeah.
grab new investors.
So let's hope next year Williams with the new investors will get a better development of the car with more money.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, nobody would want to invest in a new company that has no legacy, no name.
Yeah,
That's always a risk going in. But for Williams, quite the opposite. They have a really good name in the
yeah, that's
F1
the whole thing. The name is
scene.
everything.
So I guess that's part of the reason why they were able to land new investors.
9 constructor championships in the past.
Exactly.
16.
And
No, they have 9.
Williams have, I think they have 16.
They have 9. They have 9.
Okay, then
I have it open in front of me. Ferrari has 16.
Okay, yeah, Ferrari at 16.
I think Williams is the second highest after Ferrari.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah, I don't think you want to get rid of that legendary name.
exactly.
yeah, and Mercedes is now 7, so I think they really want to get above Williams.
They probably could, given how the next few seasons go. But obviously, like Tanish said before, they're thinking about pulling out after 2021. So depending on whether or not they do it,
Yeah,
I feel like yeah, it basically depends on whether or not they're going to be in Formula One after 2021.
It's very possible because they have a whole team in Formula E.
yeah,
They do, yeah.
with HW. They even threatened to leave Formula One.
I mean, what other options do they have? Because if that doesn't work out, then they're in deep trouble. Like Mercedes have already told them no, that they're not going to supply engines to you because they're already supplying to quite a few.
Yeah,
different
so the
teams.
only option they'll have is Renault. And
Renault also, the relation didn't end well. They just broke it off. I'm pretty sure Renault's not going to supply anymore.
the rules say Renault will have to give the engines to.
Yeah, that is true, but I don't think Honda would want to take it anyway.
Yeah, so I really think Honda will give the engine to Red Bull and come up with Red Bull engine next year. Next to next year. So let's hope what Marco Helmet does about that.
Hopefully, they can build a good car after 2021 because this Red Bull team is very promising with the current car and the drivers. You wouldn't want, if your car's not good enough, you're not gonna keep the likes of Verstappen with you.
And the crew.
Yeah, the pit crew.
Yeah, let's not forget the crew.
The fastest, the world
Brilliant.
record, 1.82 seconds.
Yeah.
You blink and you're gonna miss it.
Yeah,
I still don't know how you could possibly do that, but yeah, they've done
They
it.
have an
so
insane stat of 15
Exactly.
fastest pit stop this season.
it's insane.
Like the fastest out of all the GPs. They have 15 out of the 17 ones. I think this season they've got a 1.9 second pit stop. So that's again very
Yeah, I think
impressive.
they did one for Albon. How many was that?
1.86. It's 1.86 this year. This season.
Yeah.
So now we have 94 days for the next season. Let's hope next season's better than this one.
I'm hoping it'll be better because different venues, different cars,
Obviously, a few new names.
new drivers.
Saudi Arabia is apparently a street circuit, so let's see how that goes for them.
Yeah, hopefully it's better. But
Yeah, but adding Saudi Arabia doesn't make sense with their V races one moto.
true. But still, I'm not really sure what that move was for.
Money.
Yeah, I really think Formula One really needs that money right now.
Yeah, Saudi Arabia is guaranteed money.
Yeah, they're racing in Shanghai and Russia.
Shanghai, I'm actually kind of excited to see. Russia, not so much, but
Russia is one of the most boring races, to be very honest.
Russia also, like, the weather is a huge problem for the racers as well as the teams, because the cars are going to require a lot of maintenance given how cold it is there throughout the year.
So let's hope next year they do something really nice at those races. Yeah.
Next year looks good because we have a total of 23 races. That's quite a lot. And in the month of next 2021 September, there's a race on every single weekend. That's gonna be very interesting for the fans, but at the same time, very
So it's
difficult for the
really going to
teams.
be a challenge for most.
Traveling to 4 different parts of the world and setting up your base in your car. Oh,
Yeah.
that's gonna be hard.
Hey man, fingers crossed. All we can do is hope.
Okay, thank you guys for joining me in this on this episode. Hope to see you in off season once again. Thank you.